All right, Shalom. All right, start up with saying, Call Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the older apostles, the great millstone. Double honors to our older apostles, well, her one, Bunny Yashar, all of the out here in the lines of the camp. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, I'm Khanak to Bunny Yashar, all from the lines of the Yashar camp. This is Nines in News and Prophecy, so you know how we do. All right, this second Ezra 15:1 it says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. And we're going to constantly speak these things, all right, until the time that we're taken up to the chairs or to the time that we're, given instructions not to say these things anymore. And really until the time that all these things are implemented into the earth, all right? So, you know what I'm saying? They ain't going to make this one too long. It's just an update on what's going on with the hantavirus and the potential outbreak of another virus. All right. Lord willing, let's identify the service purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones who truly believe in the name Yahweh Shem Shai. So basically, whether they hear or forbear, we're gonna give warning or to the people and let them know. You can either take heed or you can choose to ignore. But you won't be able to say that we didn't tell you. You know. So you have this. You know, this looks like it could be another pandemic. I don't know how far they're willing to go with this one, but the hantavirus, and then you have another virus um, uh, coming forth called the norovirus. See that? All right, and you got wars going on. So you have all these things stirring up and brewing up, and you got you know uh, UFO disclosures coming up. You see? All right, it says hantavirus containment is a struggle as a new contagious outbreak leaves 1,500 people on lockdown in a cruise ship. A suspected norovirus outbreak has led to the lockdown of an Ambassador cruise line ship in Bordeaux, France. It says, with approximately 50 passengers showing symptoms of the highly contagious infection. According to People, the ship arrived in port on Tuesday, May 12th, with more than 1,700 passengers and crew members on board. Since the symptoms were identified, everyone on the vessel has been contained to the ship to prevent further spread. So yeah, man, they contain. That's crazy. That's like some zombie outbreak movie type stuff. It's like it says the situation is currently being managed by health authorities, including ARS, Nouvelle Aquitaine, which confirmed that a medical team has been dispatched. Their goal is to collect samples to confirm the exact pathogen and assess the overall transmission risk. Until then, officials have recommended that everyone on board remain isolated and limit their interactions with the port. Wow, so they're having to stay in their little bunkers, their little whatever their little rooms on the ship. It said the ship had previously made stops in the Shetland Islands, Belfast, Liverpool, and Brest before reaching its current location. There was a separate incident on the ship involving the death of a 92-year-old British man due to cardiac arrest. A government spokesperson addressed the timing of this event, stating, at this stage, no link has been established with the gastroenteritis outbreak. It says noroviruses are also thankfully fairly common. It is interesting to note that the health agencies are actively working to separate this current maritime health scare from the ongoing concerns regarding hantavirus. ARS, whatever, Noval Aquitaine explicitly stated there is no reason to link this outbreak on board a cruise ship from Belfast and Liverpool with the hantavirus cases detected on the MV Hondias. The distinction is important because the MV Hondias hantavirus outbreak has been a global concern lately. So they're not trying to link them together, they're trying to separate them. So the conversation notes that the hantavirus outbreak on the MV Hondias was resulted in 11 infections and 3 deaths. This particular strand, the Andes virus, is notable because it is the only hantavirus known to spread between humans through close contact. All right, because apparently first they said the only way to get it was through um, bat breathing in infected rat droppings. Select it 1 second. All right, all right. It says Simpsons. All right, it says it is also on everyone's radar because of random connections with the Simpsons. Simpsons. What the fuck? Is there a Simpsons episode? What's up? Hold on, let me look that up. Okay, I guess there is one. Hold on. Internet goes wild over the X Files and Simpsons predicted the hantavirus outbreak. Wow. Hold on 1 second. Let me clear this.
Don't be afraid. Pop culture oracle The Simpsons has predicted more doom and gloom for 2026.
I don't know if y'all can
For
hear this, but
2026, the predictions range from a new type of flu and AI taking over jobs to alien sightings and another world war. Even if some of the predictions aren't correlated with specific events or dates, viewers have taken notice that some could be hinting at events that are imminent. For example, in a 2012 episode titled Them Robot, AI starts to take over the jobs of the people who live in Springfield. The 2012 episode sees Mr. Burns replacing his employees with robots. Comic-Con nerd! You fool! These are robots! You will train them, and they will replace you. Who ultimately turn on him, and his laid off workers come to his rescue. Unemployed Springfield is to the rescue! And underemployed.
okay. I don't know if you can hear this. This is all right, well that's not a big idea. So apparently Simpsons have done it again. Um
And
they have predicted something that happened in the future. So apparently there was an episode of a AI takeover and a hantavirus outbreak on The Simpsons. All right. So yeah, which makes a lot of this stuff look staged, man. You know, it kind of like if you see things like that on the television, a lot of people say they hide in the plain sight. They let you know before like they have a code, so they have to let you know before they actually do it. Whether then they try to put it out there subliminally or indirectly. You know, who knows? But it's something to pay attention to because they can easily use this to push their agendas like they did 2020. You see that? It says the situation of the HB Honduras has served as a stark reminder of how interconnected our health systems are with ecosystems we visit. As travel to remote or isolated environments becomes more popular, the risk of encountering these kinds of pathogens seems to be increasing. Patient zero is, in this case, is suspected to have picked up the virus in a landfill. a landfill. Experts often refer to the cruise ship as floating petri dishes because of their shared dining areas and recirculated air and contained cabins. This design is especially where a virus can find a way and needs to spread. It says in the case of the MV Handias, the timeline of the response revealed some weakness in how international health regulations are enforced. And so they're basically saying it took them a minute to really catch on what's going on. It says right here in this article, it says one dead, 50 others showing symptoms after possible norovirus outbreak on cruise ship carrying more than 1,700 people. I think that one dead is talking about the 90-year-old man that died on cardiac arrest. So I don't think those are associated and linked together. But you know what I'm saying? Um, the Lord's this second Ezra 15:5 says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will send plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For it said, for wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." So the Lord's going to bring more. It's going to be like uh, scourges coming out, being often sent out to do the will of Yahweh by Shem Shai. And his will is destruction. Where it says there was a gap of 3 weeks between the first death on April 11th and the identification of the hantavirus on May 2nd. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it took them a minute to catch on. It says during which time the ship continued its route. The World Health Organization's 2016 handbook for managing such events suggests all hazard approach when when a cause cannot be identified. Slocky. But it appears that guidance was not applied in this instance, so they didn't follow the guidelines, or they just didn't know, what I'm saying, to follow those guidelines. You know. All right. It says the border context of these outbreaks the broader context of these outbreaks relates to the One Health framework, which views human, animal, and environmental health as a single interconnected system. Hantavirus circulated in animal population and human encroachment into these natural habitats creates opportunities for potential spillover, whether it's deforestation, climate change, or simply the expansion of travel into fragile ecosystems and the opportunities for old pathogens to interact with humans are rising. Right? So because Esau neither keep it to home and the largest desires as hell going everywhere, they spreading stuff. See that? So I'm not gonna read. I'll read a little bit more. It says, for now the passengers on the Ambassador cruise line remain under observation. Health officials have emphasized that the measures taken are temporary and will be reassessed as more information becomes available. These measures are temporary, proportionate, and continuously reassessed, the agency said. A future a further update will be provided as soon as the results of the investigations clarify the evolving situation. These are expected later today. While the norovirus is common and usually manageable infections, it can be served for older individuals. It can be severe for older individuals or those with other health conditions. The Mayo Clinic notes norovirus infections can cause severe vomiting and diarrhea that starts suddenly. This is stomach virus. Anybody want none of that? But there you have it, yeah, man. Another potential outbreak, one that makes you feel like the flu, and one that makes you feel like you got a stomach bug. All right. So give some more updates on that. But these are plagues being sent to the earth, man. Judgment from Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, with that, I'd like to call Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harikah Kodash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone, double honors to our elder apostle of well, her one by Yasharallah down here in the Lions Den camp. Salutations to the Archon and the pushing the truth to sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, Shalom.